Hello, and welcome to You're the Magic podcast. My name is Kylie James, and I am your host. I am so excited today to be talking to the beautiful Jessica Lynne, who is an Australian psychic medium. And oh my gosh, she talks to dead people. Hi, Jess, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so pleased that you could come on. I kind of put a little feeler out to you to say, oh, I wonder if she'd come on the podcast. You know, you doesn't know me or anything, but I'm going to give it a go. And when you said yes, and I got your email, I was like, oh my God, she said yes. I'm so excited.
I love that. Of course. I love chatting to new people, especially like women in business. I'm here for it. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to share whatever you want me to. I'm just open book. So,
Oh, that's perfect. Well, did you want to open up and sort of share a little bit about like who you are and what your story is? Because,
yeah.
just looking at your bio, being an EA or an executive assistant, and then now you're, a worldwide phenomenon in the psychic
Mhm.
medium kind of industry. Like what took you in that direction?
Yeah. So I obviously was working as an executive assistant for many years, like I reckon 10, 12 years, something like that. So I actually started off like, if I take you all the way back, I've always been really intuitive. Like, this is not new information for me. Like, I have always I've really been connected, I guess. I've been able to pick up on things. I've been very aware of energy, even from like a young child. When my nana passed away when I was 12, I became a lot more curious because I had a reason to. And I think that that's what happened with people too, is that they might be open to spirituality, but they don't hone in until they have that longing, I guess, to reconnect with somebody that is now on the other side. So that kind of opened the floodgates for me, where I was looking for crystals and mediums and all the things. So I remember being a teenager, and here I am, like sitting at the local crystal shop doing meditations and things with like the spiritual ladies, and they're teaching me what all the crystals mean and all that kind of stuff. And then as I got into my 20s, I was going to all the mind festivals and seeing whatever medium I could find. And I was like a junkie for this stuff. Like, I was into it. And one day this medium said to me, Jess, I don't know why you're here. Like, I don't know why you were on that side of the table getting me to read for you when you should be the one over here. And I was like, oh, what? And she goes, yeah, you should be able to turn this on and off like a light switch and connect with the other side. And I remember thinking, hell yes, like I would love that. That'll be so cool. But I just never really saw how, and I didn't know how to blend my energy with spirit and connect in that way. So I just kind of forgot about it and kept going in my corporate career. So I actually studied psychology. That's
Yeah.
where this all began. So I was like, I studied psychology, and I said to myself, you know what? I don't think I can be a psychologist because I'm not sure that I could sit in everyone's grief every single day. That was my reason, right?
Feel way too much. Just feel way too much.
Yes, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm gonna be crying with
Yeah.
these people, and they're telling me all these stories about their lives and their hardships and the death of people. And I'm like, I can't even be in that. So I decided to be an executive assistant. So I worked myself up the ladder. Like, I was working for high-end CEOs, celebrities. My last role was executive assistant to Peter Alexander. So I was his assistant for 3 years. And I remember always thinking, I'm so good at this because I'm so organized and I'm so into the detail. And I was in my element. Like, I love to coordinate, and I love working at that level and seeing how hard I could push myself, how much money I could earn, all the status I could get. Like, I was like, I'm all or nothing kind of gal. You
Yeah.
know that. And you'll probably feel that talking to me. It's this way or it's that way.
I
That's it.
love it. I love it.
So it's always pushing, 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 pushing. And I remember getting into that role and going, how the hell could I get better than this? I'm like, this is like the role that no one steps away from. Like, I was so surprised it was even available and that girl was leaving to do something else. And I actually feel, actually, that girl left to do a passion of hers, which was nursing. So it's completely different for her too. And I remember thinking, you're crazy. Why would you leave this role that is working for this amazing guy, like with all the things and all the conditions and everything you could have hoped for, to go and do nursing? I'm like, what is happening? But then I realized when the time came for me that there's other things in this life that we can be passionate about. And there's other things that I feel like are missing. And we're feeling pulled in that direction, but we just don't know how to make it fit. And so when I finally decided that I wanted to tap into mediumship and actually do this, it was years before I left PA, like years. Like I was doing this for maybe 3 or so years, three to 4 years, I reckon, like part-time on the side. I read for free for 2 years. Like I was not in this for money. Still, I'm not. And I really wanted to build my symbology. I wanted to get really confident with how I connected with spirit. And it all kind of happened very randomly if I kind of go backwards. One day I found this psychic medium who was doing a beginner's course, and I said to my friend, let's go and do it. Like, let's just go and give it a crack and see what happens. Like, what's the point in not giving it a go? So we ended up going to this course, and within 10 minutes, this woman had us blending with spirit and partnering up with a total stranger and being like, all right, read for them. That's literally what happened. We're sitting there and we're
Wow.
like, what? She goes, close your eyes, tell me what you feel, connect to someone. And I'm like, and I remember connecting with this man. I could see him, I could sense him, I could see all the things. And I was like, all right, I see this man. I started to describe what I was experiencing, what he was showing me. Ended up being this woman's dad. And he was the first man I'd ever channeled. And everything I was saying was spot on. It was weird. And it was like I'd had amnesia for all these years. And then all of a sudden, I was remembering all this stuff of what I'm here to do and why I'd forgotten in the first place and what I was here to remember. And from there, I was just obsessed. I was learning from that woman. I was being mentored. I was doing everything for free. I was just wanting to get to the best possible place that I could be with my connection with spirit. And I'm telling you, the biggest leap of faith I ever took was leaving that job at PA.
Yeah.
The biggest leap, because I didn't know what I was up for. I'm like, maybe I could do this. But I'm telling you, sometimes it takes you so many signs and so many hints from the universe that you can actually do this in order to take that leap. I remember I was doing it part-time, like at night, weekends, all that kind of stuff while I was working. And I remember being booked out for a solid year on my part-time hours, like ahead of time. I was like, oh my God, like I can't fit anyone else in. I've got to like close my books because I can't fit anyone in. This is crazy. And I had to wait list. And I was like, maybe I could do this. But it literally took me being booked out and having a wait list of that many people for me to believe in myself.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. I love this. I love your energy, first of all.
Oh,
It's
thank
just
you.
like, wow. I can just feel it in the screen. It's just incredible. What? And my question is like, what feel like? You know, like when these people turn up,
Mm.
you know, when you're reading for somebody and these people turn up, like, what does it feel like? Because
Yeah.
it like, I suspect I know what it would feel like, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. So when I'm first feeling a spirit step forward, every spirit's different. So sometimes you will feel something in your physical body. So you'll feel the energy in the room shift when you have someone who's obviously moving very close with you. And the way I described it before is you blend your energy with spirit. So it's like I'm opening myself up and they're stepping closer to me and they're almost like their energy and my energy is like going together and we become one.
Yeah.
So I become this vessel for this person. And this is why when I'm reading for you, you'll see me change. When I have a different spirit, I might talk differently or I might, have different mannerisms, be quite matter of fact, or I might be quite chill. Like I let them take over my physical body. So you do start to feel their essence and you feel like you want to be different. Like the other day I was channeling this man and he was a really like strong, like, protector kind of guy. And I remember literally going like this. I pushed my chest forward and I was like sitting differently as I was talking. And I was very slow in the way I was talking to this person. And it's almost like they just make you want to be different because that's
Yeah.
who they are. So you do feel a lot of stuff within your body if you allow yourself to be that pure vessel.
Yeah. And like, does it just drop in? Like all of a sudden things just start coming out? Like words just keep coming. Is
Yes,
it like, whoa.
yeah, at the start when you're first learning, it is so different to how it is for me now.
Yeah.
And I think when you start learning, you're a little bit clunky. Like, it's almost like anything. When you haven't like, when you first learn to drive, you're thinking about everything. You're like, "Okay, blinker, brake," all the things. Like, you just have this, like, almost like moments in time where you're thinking about what the next step is. It's the same thing for mediumship. So it's not until you practice over and over again. And that's why I read for free for 2 years, because I'm like, I'm not going to pretend that I've done this one course and that now I'm like a full-fledged psychic. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I need to be a build up the energy of flow. And that's what happens over time. So if you're listening and you're an aspiring medium and you're starting out and you're like, why can't I get the flow of conversation? Why do I get a little piece and then there's nothing? Then there's another bit, then there's nothing. It's because they're trying to teach you to have more conversational style mediumship and to get that flow going through asking for information quicker or through allowing things to flow a certain way. So it comes in time. So don't
Yeah.
worry. If you're wondering, it happens. But for me, it's more like, I'll get a word. So I have a lot of symbols, and a lot of my symbols are actually words. So they might say heart, or they might say pancreas, or they might say tragedy, or something like that. And as soon as I hear that word, I kind of go in that direction a little bit, and then I want a feeling. What do I feel with that? I feel fatigued. I feel sad by that. Like, I'm almost like unpacking this present that someone's putting in my lap. And you don't have all the answers. You're peeling the layers back as you go.
Yeah.
And that's why it flows more, because I get curious. I'm like, ooh, what do you mean by that? Why are you showing me this like flash image of this car, but nothing else? What
Yeah.
was the car? Whose car is it? Like, I feel like you start to have a conversation in your head with this person, and then you're just articulating it to the person who's sitting in front of you, going, we're all figuring it out together. It's like putting a puzzle together, all of us. And it's a conversation between all three of us, really. It's kind of like trying to figure out, some kind of Morse code. You're like, what is this kind of thing?
It's kind of structured, but not structured, flow, but not flow. It's kind of
It's
like,
messy.
yeah. But then it comes into something beautiful because all the pieces just start to join together. And it must be magical to watch the person that you're reading for when all the messages start to drop in for them as well. Like,
Yeah.
that must be pretty incredible.
It's so nice when you see something land. You see someone go, oh, or like they're like, oh my God, that's so weird. I was just talking about that. Or we had a conversation about that last night. I'm like, that's weird. Like, even to this day, I'm sitting there with my jaw on the floor as well, going, oh my God, I can't believe they just said that. I can't believe that just came through for you. Like, I get so excited about this because this stuff you can't explain. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot even articulate to someone the feeling that you get when you get to deliver a message to somebody that actually fits and lands with them in that moment. It's the one thing they needed to hear, or the one thing they've been worried about, or they've been carrying for all these years, to help them heal, find closure, and move forward in that moment. So this stuff is like incredible. And
Yeah.
I feel so blessed to be able to be part of this and to be able to do this. And it's just so funny that I was so scared when I was like 20 years old, going, I could never, ever be a psychologist. I could never sit in this space. But I feel like they made me do that course and then had me wait, however many years until I was around 30 to actually use what I'd learned back then and be with people and sit with people every day in their grief, doing it differently in a way that felt right for me, rather than the structured psychologist energy that was going to entail if I had done it way back when.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love this. I think it's just reinforces that there's so much that we already have. It's just about figuring out and remembering that you've got it, first of all. And how do you want to use it? Not how does everyone else want you to use it, but how
Hmm.
do you want to use it? And that could look so, so different to what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. And the thing is,
Yeah.
too, the things that you've done years ago that you think have no relevance. And like the amount of jobs that I had in between, like, I've had so many jobs and I've tried different industries and different roles. And I've been a dental nurse. I've been, in administration. I've done all the things. And it was never for nothing because I learned something about myself in all those roles. The education that I've done has not been for nothing. It's helped me now. Who would have thought? Like, I just think that we're put on this path for a reason. And even though you might go, oh my God, I wasted so many years being an accountant and I hated it. And I only did it because my parents told me that's the only thing that makes money or whatever. That's not for nothing because all the skills you've learned there are helping you now to step into this new version of you and this new chapter of your life. You might have learned about business from that. You might have learned about how to connect with people, how to pivot your approach, your attention to detail, discipline. There's so many things that I've learned along the way through my corporate experience of how to talk to different people, how to articulate things, when to pick my moments, all that kind of stuff. I would have never been able to run this business without having all of that knowledge. I'm sitting in rooms with CEOs for years, watching their brains tick about what works in business and how to be there and show up and how to be authentic and raw and do what you say you're going to do and all that kind of stuff. So that helped me to actually set up my own business. So all that stuff, it's meant to be. You've never wasted time.
I love that. And you're never too old. You're never too young. You're never too anything. You're never too much, whatever. It's just get out there and do it. Like, give it a go.
Yeah.
And like you said, like we sit in moments where we're so scared on, I can't do that, or what would people think, or whatever else the other excuses might be, or reasons might be. It's just,
Yeah.
you know what? Get out of your own way and actually take that step. Take that
Yeah.
brave step and let's do it, because you never know what can happen and where it can lead you to.
Exactly. Like, who would have thought, way back when that I would be here today? Like, I would never have predicted this ever. And I'm a psychic. I didn't predict shit.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know this was going to happen. But I'm so glad that I took the leap of faith. And it was really hard. It was
Yeah.
truly hard. And my journey was actually strange. So I ended up leaving PA, but I actually left PA for another job that was not this. So I knew I wanted to dedicate more time to my mediumship. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to get another EA role that's closer to home, less hours, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, but I'm only leaving PA if this role is completely all the things that I want to be able to give me more time. And they gave me that. The universe is like, all right, then here you go. And I'm like, oh, perfection. I'll just take this and I'll be able to dedicate more time, all that kind of stuff. Got into the role, absolutely hated it. Hated it with every fiber of my being. The boss was weird. I'm like, this is a shit environment. I just hated everything. I was like, I feel like I'm rejecting this even just in 5 days. And I remember standing in the foyer and I was calling Jade, my wife, and I said to her, I hate this. This is so crap. I can't believe I've gone from like one of the greatest jobs I've ever had to this because it's just not what I thought it was going to be. And she goes, quit. And I'm like, what? She goes, walk out, quit right now and do your business. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can, la, la, la. And I'm like, but you know what? I don't want this. I don't want to be slugging it. I don't want to work for this person. I don't even like her. I can't be bothered trying to get to know her. She's not my cup of tea. And why don't I just give this a shot? I guess so. So in that moment, that's when I took the leap of faith, when I had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
It was honestly, I was like, well, I've got this, like, cool story. I may as well give this a shot. So it doesn't always pan out the way you think. You may not go from, like I said, my perfect job, leaving that for mediumship. That wasn't how it happened. The universe tricked me.
Yeah.
They're like, here, Jess, here's everything you think you want. And I'm like, oh, great. And then I'm in it and they're like, psych.
Yeah. And then you needed that nudge to actually go, boom, this is actually where I am.
Yeah.
And also having your wife as a champion to go, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
And
I know.
she's like your biggest champion ever.
She is. But it's so funny. It took her going, yeah, do it. Why not? And that's the thing too. We don't always have that support. We don't always have partners or family who are going, yeah, why don't you give that a crack? Like, you can. Sometimes you do have to just believe in yourself. And there's been many things along the way that, I've made the call before I've even told her, but it's because instinctually I knew that that was what I needed to do. So I think sometimes you just have to trust yourself and your intuition, and also trust your spirit team, because they are planting you in places and they're planting people in your way too, to help you have different conversations, to actually help you believe that you can. The best decision I ever made was to jump into this. the best thing I ever did, believing in myself, taking a leap of faith, seeing what I could actually do, and removing myself from the expectations that everybody else had of me, and being more interested in what I think and what I have to say rather than caring about what everybody else has to say about me.
Yeah, yeah. And what my question that I want to ask you, there's obviously been a few wobbles along the way. I think like any journey. How have you overcome that? Like I've seen you on TV. Like I think the first time that I ever saw you, you're on Sunrise or the morning show. I can't remember which one. And I'm like, how did you get on there? Like, you know, like you've had all these incredible things happen. Yet we also know that business can be up and down and like a bit of a roller coaster, just like life can be. Like,
Yeah.
how have you stayed the course?
Yeah, look, it is something that, every single have to show up. And every single day you do your best and you put one foot in front of the other and you see what happens. But I'm in it for the long haul. That's the thing. There is no backup plan.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel like we need to like get that mentality is there is no backup. There's no, oh, if that falls to shit, I'll just go back to being an EA. No way. No way will I be doing that because I don't want to. And that is not the energy I'm putting into my business right now. I'm all or nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that that really helps when you believe that there's so much more. You believe that the universe will provide for you. And I've had a talk to my spirit team and I've said, listen here. I'm like, if you want me to continue to do this and you want me to show up every single day and read for people and be of service to the spirit world, you better bring the business. I'm like, if I do what I'm doing and I'm showing up and I'm promoting myself and I'm helping the world and doing all the things, I don't want to have to worry about if someone's going to book with me and clients. I want that abundance to be coming to me so I can continue to do what I do. So you need to talk to your spirit teams. And you need to say, listen here, I want to continue being of service, but I can't do that if I'm worried all the time about making money, if I'm worried all the time about whether my books are going to fill. So I've never really been focused, and it's very different for me because I used to be so obsessed with money and making enough and stability. And I was so nervous stepping into this business thinking I wasn't going to be able to financially support myself because I've come from an environment where we didn't have very much. And, we were always worried about where the next dollar would come in. And so I had that trauma coming into my business. And I was like, you know what, universe, I can't be like that here. I can't worry about that. So I need you to show me and pivot me where I need to be to get eyes on me and to allow me to feel like I can continue to do this. Otherwise, this is a no-go. And I'm telling you, I have not had to worry about anything like that.
Wow.
It just has flowed for me. And that's not me being up myself and me being I'm better than you or anything like that. I'm just saying genuinely, I had that chat with them and they're continuing to do what they do and showing up for me because I'm showing up for myself and for all of you.
Yeah. That has just dropped in massively for me. Just you saying that, I think, I'm 3 years into my business or so, and I've come from a really stable corporate background. I got a fortnightly salary, all of those sorts of things. And then one day I just went, nah, I can't do this anymore. Similar to you just hit that point and you're like, I can't do this anymore. I need to change. Yet the fear has always been there. And I think
Yeah.
what you were just saying there is talk to your spirit guides, talk to your people around you, and allow them to actually weave the path for you. You don't have to do it all by yourself.
Yeah. You do
That
a dance with the universe. I show up,
yes,
you show up. And I think that if
yeah,
you continue to believe in your spirit guides and in the people that are supporting you, the better off you will be. I've never had more faith than what I do today, ever.
yeah,
I've never had this level of trust of going, you know what? If something falls away, it wasn't meant for me. If someone falls out of my scheduling system and they cancel, great. That's honestly how I feel. I'm like, oh, cool. All right then, because I've put it to them. I'm like, I only want these kind of clients. I only want people who want to show up, who are enthusiastic, who want to heal, who want to get answers about something, who show up with the same energy that I do. And if they don't do that, and I have clients in my schedule right now that don't fit that bill, let them fall out because it'll make room for the people that will come forward and will want to invest in this experience and in this, whole arena. So do that too. make a list. Talk about, your ideal client and be like, anyone that is not going to do that for me or is not going to step up the way I'm stepping into this or bring the same energy I am, they're not for me. I
Yeah.
don't need to just fill another gap. Like
Mm.
somebody who's really wanting this will fill that gap because that's what I'm calling in. So it's all about like manifesting and talking to your spirit team and really wanting to create the magic that works for you. And I haven't always been like this. When I first started, I was like, come one, come all. Anyone who's willing to pay for this, anyone who's willing to have the experience, I am open for business. And
Yeah.
it was a great thing for me to do that because it got me a bit of momentum, but it was also one of the worst things that I did
Yeah.
because I had naysayers, I had people trying to test me, I had people giving me a hard time, I had people telling me they're going to sue me for this, that, and the other. Like I had terrible energy. I had some great people, don't get me wrong, and they're like 99%, but I had the stragglers, the weird people that came in where I'm
Yeah.
like, how did you get in here? Whereas now, I don't really have that as much as what I used to. So you have to be very specific about what it is that you will and won't accept.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, I absolutely love that. I think, you know, for me, like sometimes I say, how do you protect your own energy? But I guess what you're just saying is be specific, know what you want, give that clarity, and ask for that. That's essentially, and then trust that it's going to come,
Yeah.
and the stuff that's not for you will just either fall away or not come into your space.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
sometimes the universe tests you.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do get some stragglers where I'm like, oh, that's weird. Where have you come in? La la la. But I shut it down instantly.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to refund you and let's go on our merry way. And
Yeah.
it happens. We're all human.
Yeah.
We think we like certain people, then we get on the call and we don't.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But this is why I
Yeah.
always say too, even if somebody has recommended somebody to you in any career, anything that you do, mortgage broker, coach, accountant, whatever, if you don't vibe with that person, you look them up and you're like, they're not really my kind of person, but I don't get why this person's recommending them. They say they're really good. Maybe I'll just do it anyway. Don't do that. If you don't feel pulled to someone's energy, you don't feel like they're your kind of person or you could be their friend,
Yeah.
don't engage in the service. Find somebody else that you do feel pulled to because otherwise it's going to be this push, pull, awkwardness. And we've all been there. We've all had those moments with somebody where you're like, God, help us. Like that was so much harder than what it needed to be.
Yeah.
And that's because your energies just don't align.
Yeah.
So only be booking with me if you feel like you're my kind of person. That's what I'm going to put out there because I'm only calling you in if you're my kind of gal.
Love this. I think this is incredible. Can I ask you, are there any specific rituals that you do either to help your energy or protect your energy? Are there specific things that you do that maybe, I don't know, that might help listeners as well?
Yeah, of course. So I do a lot of energy. So I use water as a really powerful tool for me because I'm so like, I'm a Cancerian, so I'm all about the water. And I use my shower as my space. So anyone can do this. This is, we all have showers, well, I hope. So when you're in the shower, close your eyes and picture all of this white light coming into your head. So basically your crown chakra. So all this white light, it's almost like you're calling your energy back to you. That's what I say. I'm calling my energy back to me, which is all the beautiful white light, all the abundance, all the creativity, all the things. And then I picture everyone else's shit getting out of my body. So I picture all this black stuff going down the drain. All the white coming in, I'm calling my energy back to me and I'm letting everyone else's stuff, anything that's attached to me, any residual energy from conversations I've had that day, it all just goes down the drain.
Yeah.
And then you just repeat the cycle a few times in your mind and I'm telling you, you will instantly feel like you're back in your body.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we get so carried away during the day. We're busy, we're on our feet, we're running around, we're talking to this person, we're problem solving, where everyone's everything. And I feel like at the end of the day, you need a recalibration and you need to reset. Otherwise, you're going to wake up feeling fatigued the next day and don't know why. It's because you haven't released everyone else's crap so you can actually hear yourself again. Listen to yourself, understand what you need rather than what everyone else needs from you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love a good shower for that exactly. It's like you wash the day off you. But I
Yes.
love how you've just like reframed it a little bit and it's about the energy coming in, the good energy coming in, and then
Mhm.
all that other stuff just washing away. It's like, oh, food.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's such
love
a
this.
powerful visualization. And I think
Yeah.
that's the thing. You don't need a whole heap of bells and whistles to like clear your energy. I think it's really powerful to be able to know that the power is in your hands and that you can do these things yourself. You don't need other people to always do them for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes, for me, someone who's like working in my space where I'm always in other people's energies all the time. There's a lot of cleansing that I can do for myself, but sometimes you do need somebody else to get the residual off because you can't always pick up on things yourself. You know, we can't read for ourselves, all that kind of stuff. It's not a thing. So sometimes you do need that intervention. But
Yeah.
also, the best thing that I found, and if anyone follows me, they know I'm all about it, is limes are so cleansing. If you haven't heard about limes, you are mad. Like, you need to start using them, whether it be diffusing lime essential oil to clear the energy, spraying it, diffusing it, lighting it up. I've got a whole line called the Lime Glow. So if you're not one to cut up limes and put them around your house, we are the answer to that. But I'm telling you, look it up. Limes are a cleansing tool. So many people have used them for so many generations in other cultures, and they're just amazing. So I usually like spray a little lime around my house, like a lot of the oil and stuff, because it just
Yeah.
instantly feels fresh, you know,
Yeah.
clean slate
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, it is. It is that really refreshing kind of sparking kind of scent, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's a
sure.
beautiful, beautiful way of cleansing, especially if you don't like sage. If you're someone who's like, I hate the smell of sage. It smells like, you know, burning or, you know, a campfire or whatever. I
Yeah,
would definitely use limes. It's my
yeah.
little tip for
Oh,
the day.
absolutely. And everyone well, I'll leave Jess's details on our podcast, on the notes in the podcast. Go onto her website because the products that you've got, the line products, they look incredible. So yeah,
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you so much. And they
yeah.
smell so good, by the way. So it's not just they work, they actually smell divine. So
Oh,
it's so nice.
so good, so good. I have a couple more questions for you. One is, what is the most coolest thing that you've done over, the last 8 years that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened to me?
Ah, see, there's so many things. I think for me, the amount of momentum that my business has had within the last few years has been madness. Like, I've sat in rooms with people who I never even imagined that I would be able to meet or that would even know who I am. If anyone is a fan of psychic mediums, if anyone's heard of Jackie Gillies, she's from Melbourne. She was on Real Housewives of Melbourne. I think she was on I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, all that kind of stuff. She is like one of the best mediums in the country. And I sat down with her on my podcast and we just talked shit. And I
Yeah.
was like, how cool that I'm in this room with you right now and you know who I am. This is odd. Like, I couldn't even believe it. So being able to meet Jackie Gillies and have her on my podcast was incredible. If anyone wants to listen to it, it's Talk Spirit to Me. That's my
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the most amazing experience. And then I ended up going to one of her events that she had like months ago. And she called me out. She goes, "There's other mediums in this room. Jess, I know you're here." And I was like, "Oh my God, she just mentioned me." I was like, "Girl, like this is like madness." But yeah,
So
that's one of the
good.
most coolest experiences when you get to meet people who you've always sort of looked up to or always thought was out of reach. And, it's just, I'm not going to toot my own horn or anything like that, but it's such a testament to how fucking hard I've worked to push myself to the point where I can sit in rooms with people like this and they see me as an equal. Like, it's just amazing to see just how far I've come. And like the little girl in me is like squealing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. But even for me to message you and go, hey, do you want to come on my podcast? You don't know me from like a bar of soap. Yeah, you're like, yeah, sure. And like we're now sitting here talking. I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm talking to Jess. And you're just a normal person at the same time as well. And that's
yeah.
why people love you. Is
Aw.
because you just are so lovely and
Oh, thank you.
likable and all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's so nice. And so
So,
are you. So are you. I really appreciate you even wanting me to come on. Like,
oh,
it's
no.
it's a joy to talk to you.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. I have one more question, and it
Yeah.
is, um, there's a lot of people out there that I tend to talk to, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so brave for leaving your job. Oh my gosh, you're so I could never do that. I couldn't do that. You know, what about my salary or my super or my this, blah, blah, blah," all of the stuff that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Um, and they're always sort of saying, "Well, what's the one thing that you did? What kind of like what advice can you give me?" And
Mhm.
I know we've talked about just do it and those sorts of things, but that's easy for us to say it when we've just done it.
Yeah.
So, what is one piece of advice that you could give someone where they could just make that first step, which could lead them to the next step and the next step and the next step, if that makes sense? Like, just
Yeah.
to get them started.
Yeah, of course. So with me, obviously, I've come from that environment where like money matters. Like, it's nice to do something that you love to do, but you also have to live and you have to be able to afford your house and all that kind of stuff. So what I did to make myself feel more comfortable was I created a plan. So I literally sat there and I looked at the salary I was earning when I was at my job. And I was like, okay, so if I do this many readings across this many days and I charge this much, can I equal that? And so I made it realistic. I was like, okay, do I think that with my 800 wait list that I can fill 20 spots a week, right? Which is ridiculous because I know I could. But even if you don't have that, look at it and be like, you know what? Could I have like 5 decent clients a week that pay me, you know, $300 for an hour or whatever? And once I take away all the things that I need to pay for and all that kind of stuff, will I still be able to afford my house? And the answer to that is yes. And I feel like that's how I did it. I realistically did it for my brain where I was like, all right, I need to see to believe. So if you need to see to believe, let yourself see it. Let that sink in. Be like, oh, well, that's actually quite doable. Because if I only need to attract 10 clients a week, I feel like that's a real, like, that's doable. And I feel like I'm worth this much compared to the market. Like, do your research, gather your information, let your brain see it become a reality in front of you as a scenario. Because once you do that, you'll be more inclined to take the leap.
Yeah. And quite often we think that the figure that we need is way bigger than what it actually realistically is. And then when you see it, you're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this is actually quite achievable.
Yeah, you need to see it sometimes. So for all the visual people out there who need to see it in black and white, let it happen. Put it in black and white. Get your big
Yeah.
butcher's paper and plan it all out and see what you would offer. If you had no barriers, no fear, no anxiety, no money worries, nothing, what would your business look like? How many do you think you'd be able to see a week? Or what products do you want to create? And how do you feel like you're going to be able to get them on the market? Like, start to think about this stuff, get excited about it, because when you feel like it's doable, you get this energy that I feel like makes you take the leap because you're so excited about the potential of what this could be if you just had the capacity to be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this. And it's so practical. Like anyone can do this. It doesn't cost a huge amount of money. It actually is
Yeah.
quite free, to be honest. You can even use a spreadsheet if you want to.
Yeah.
Like it's such a practical piece of advice. Thank you so much. I hope,
Of course.
like everyone will take that and, go and chase your dream. Go
Yeah.
and chase what you actually want to do. And because that just leads to ultimate happiness. That's really what it does.
It absolutely does. So, yeah, go and chase your dreams, be fearless, take a risk. I feel like that, 90% of the time it pays off. And if it doesn't, you've learned something, you'll pivot in a different direction, you'll just do it differently.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can always go back to the skill set you always had.
Yeah.
I reckon most of you listening right now would be like, well, you know what? If I fail, I'll just go back to that. If that's your worst case scenario, you can get another job doing that. So why not just take a risk? Why not
Yeah.
take a chance on you? Because it'll probably be, you know what? It is. It's going to be the best thing that you ever do.
Yeah. Take a chance on you. I
Cool.
love that. I love that saying. Oh, that's perfect. Now, what's the best platform? Is it Instagram for people to find you on? I know you are.
Yes.
Your books is full, but if people want to jump on the wait list, do they? What do they do?
Yes, yes. So I'm mostly on Instagram at Jessica Lynne Mediumship. I'm also on TikTok, but I don't like TikTok as much. I'm an Instagram kind of gal. But you can go onto my website and you can join my wait list, which is basically my email list. So you'll get emails from me. I send one a week. I'm not spamming you.
No,
Most of
she
the
doesn't stand.
I don't spam. So it's more to let you know that I have my one question readings that drop every week. So if you do have a burning question, you can send that through and I'll send you a video response. That's the way I can keep connected with everyone throughout the whole year. And then my one-on-one readings, I'm currently booked until the end of March, but I will be releasing times in the next couple of months. So if you do want to have a reading with me, you'll have to be quick. I'll send it to my email list and you all free for all, first in, best dressed. But I really hope I get to connect with you and that you're my kind of person because, yeah, I just love what I do and I can't wait to share it with you.
Yeah, it's just, it's been so, I just loved our conversation. So thank you so much. And to everyone, connect with Jess, grab a reading or pop in a one question uh, query because, there's so much that you can get. All you need is one little not golden nugget and you never know where life can take you.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you. And to our listeners, remember, you are the magic. Everything is already inside of you. Sometimes you just need to remember. And I hope that today's conversation has really helped you and given you some inspiration to take that first step. Until next time, thank you, Jess. Thank you to our listeners, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.